Hi, this is Brian Resney, President of Resney Wealth Management. I'm giving you another important update about the economy and the markets. I want to talk a little bit about Greece today and the confidence vote that they had yesterday, which I'm not exactly sure what that really means, other than I think there's a lot of countries out there that are owed a lot of money from Greece, and I guess this makes them feel just a tad bit better that the austerity measures, meaning the cutbacks in the money that they're giving their people, in not only benefits and medical and so forth and pension plans, hopefully will go through. Greece is obviously in a bad situation. They talk about Greece's debt to per person in that country, and I believe the number was about $43,000 per person in Greece. By the way, in the United States, it's actually $47,000 per person in the United States, so substantially higher in the United States than Greece, yet we are the finger pointer ultimately at a lot of these countries. We need to get our own fiscal house in order. We continue to see the economy obviously on the weakest recovery ever coming out of recession, although with that I believe we are not headed for a double dip recession. I believe that we are going to kind of sail through hopefully the second half of this year, and there may be a little potential upside. We are actually getting ready to do a major positioning, adding some risk, some small and mid cap, not only in the U.S. to our portfolios for clients, but we're also looking to add some additional emerging market exposure on the cheap, meaning we want to buy low. I'm not looking for a 50% rally from this point, but I think we have an opportunity to start trending higher through the second half of this year. If the economy can grow the GDP just around 2%, I think that'll be enough for us to get a decent rise by year end out of the U.S. markets. And I think certainly the GDP growth will be more than double, could be triple that in other emerging economies outside the United States. We continue to have a very defensive position in bonds. In fact, we're going to do a little bit of addition to bonds in our balanced and balanced income accounts. We want to make sure that we are in exactly the right bond allocation and fixed income allocation for our clients, not only for protection purposes, but for income purposes. We continue to monitor our portfolios and our holdings every single day, and we also continue to monitor the economic situation around the world. I think it is so important today that investors realize that money management isn't a set it and forget it proposition, and that you do need to look at your portfolio on a daily basis if you're managing your own money. If you have an actual money manager like Resney Wealth Management, that would be our role, of course, or the firm that you've hired. If you're dealing with any brokerage house or broker, that would not be their job to babysit your money. I continue to get just dozens and dozens of calls, emails, not only to our radio show, but in our office about that particular subject. And I think investors, primarily through our radio show and our newsletter and these video updates, are really starting to realize that the person they entrusted with their money is not a money manager, but could just be a broker with a title. So just make sure you are protecting yourself. But of course, if you are managing your own money, it's a daily proposition. I had an email that we received from one of our listeners, and the question was pretty simple. Brian, how often should somebody review their portfolio and or make changes to their portfolio? And that's a pretty simple question. Every single day, you should be reviewing the holdings within your portfolio. It doesn't mean you're making a change daily, but it does mean you need to look at these positions every day. If you looked at them only once a quarter or twice a year, what happens the day after you've looked at these positions if there's a dramatic change not only in the economic circumstance of a company you own or a bond or a sector, and then you wait 6 months to basically make a change after maybe that's already dropped 30, 40, 50%. So again, money management or the management of your wealth is a daily proposition. The investments need to be reviewed daily and looking at really what's going on, making sure things are where they're supposed to be and they're going in the right direction. And then of course, changes need to be made to your portfolio when only appropriate. So one of the things that we are also adding additional to is our gold position. We've held a gold position for a while now. We're going to add gold, a further additional percentage to our client managed accounts, not only through our conservative accounts, but even our aggressive accounts. I think ultimately gold is going to go higher, and I think it's going to be one of the currencies, I'm going to call it, of choice as you see the euro start to unwind. I think eventually 3 to 5 years down the road, the euro is going to be broken up. It could be sooner than that, but I think ultimately the euro will be gone as a currency, and I think what's going to happen ultimately because of that, the dollar will continue to become weak, and I think gold will ultimately go higher. This is Brian Resney with Resney Wealth Management. Make sure you do listen to my Sunday show from 10 to noon. We're going to have an awesome show again this Sunday. And as always, if you're concerned about your money, if you'd like to talk to my firm about managing your wealth, give our office a call. We would love to help you get your portfolio on track. If you're finding your money's not really being managed at all, and you are serious about your money, and you want somebody who's going to work in your best interest as a federally registered investment advisor, call our office. We'd love to work with you in a manner that's prudent for your retirement. Until Sunday's show, make sure you have yourself an extremely profitable day.